Hey guys, JC here. Alright, I had two different requests, and I decided since they were both pretty simple, I was just going to go ahead and put them into the same video. First one was going to be doing a quick review on my guns. Basically just kind of a pros and cons of them. Well, the thing is you know, I mean, if I own the gun, you got to think about the fact that I probably don't have a whole lot of cons for them. But I do have a couple, at least for the revolver, and I'll do the 9mm in just a second. The pros of the 9mm, or I'm sorry, the 22. This is the Heritage Rough Rider 22 LR revolver. The pros of it is that it is obviously it's a light gun. This is a cheap gun. I bought about 500 rounds to go with this, and it cost me about $180 with the 500 rounds. Very cheap gun. Not a lot of moving parts to it, so it's a very simple gun. So it takes a lot less maintenance and is a lot less likely to break. So that's the main pros to this gun. Very reliable. I've put a couple thousand rounds through it. Had no issues so far. Cons: it takes a little while to load. It's not a revolver that has, you know, flips out and you can just load it. You have to load and unload each bullet individually after you flip this open, and so that gets a little frustrating. Especially if obviously you're in a zombie apocalypse, that would be a little annoying to have to sit there and load constantly. Another pro is obviously it's a 22, so rounds are inexpensive as of right now. Obviously in a zombie apocalypse, they're free. They're easy to carry. You can carry a ton in a small box, and they'll last you all day, and it's still strong enough to go through a skull. So. Obviously, you'd have to be a little bit closer range, but still. Okay, the 9mm. This is the Springfield XD 9mm. To go ahead and just, if I'm being completely honest with you, I don't have a whole lot of cons to this gun aside from the fact that it's loud. It doesn't have an external safety, so I guess that could be a con to some people. The safety is here on the back and on the trigger. Both have to be. It's just basically two little levers. They both have to be engaged, which is just whenever you're holding it and you pull the trigger, they both have to be engaged in order for it to fire. Other pro: this is a 16-round magazine. That's a 16-round magazine. It comes with two of them, so you can have two 16-round magazines that just come with it, and then one in the chamber. So you can have a total of 33 bullets ready to go. Very, very sturdy, very reliable gun, very easy to clean. I'm not going to take it apart right now just for time's sake. If you guys want to see that, just please let me know and I'll take my guns apart, show you guys how to clean them and all that. Very, very easy gun to operate. Obviously, it's just, you know, cock and then just start pulling the trigger and going. It's a semi-automatic, so you just keep going as fast as you can pull the trigger. So that's basically what I have as far as my guns. Like I said, no real cons except for the fact that it's loud. And bullets, obviously, even though it's a 9, they're much smaller than 40s, 45s, and, you know, rifles and everything. Obviously they're not real small bullets like the 22, so that's the downside to them. So that's it as far as my guns. I hope that kind of covers the reviews of my guns. If you guys, like I said, want to see more about them, if you want to know about the you know, how to take them apart, how to clean them, do all stuff, I'm more than happy to put up a video for that. And alright, so the next thing was for a zombie apocalypse, how to start preparing. And I really like to expand on this, but for right now, I'm just going to go ahead and focus. I had a guy who I was talking to who was saying a lot about how he's already stocking up on stuff, but he's buying them at like thrift stores, like you know, dollar stores, things like that. That's a really great idea. You think about it, those kind of places, it's going to be, you know, you're going to find a lot of, you know, 2 for $1, 3 for $1, stuff like that, because everything's all about $1. Obviously, so you get your canned goods there and stuff like that. Just make sure that it's that obviously it's not old and stuff like that. But even then, canned goods last for years. So that's definitely a good place to start stocking up on canned goods. Start stocking up on water bottles and things like that. And we'll get into more about like weapons and things like that later on. But for right now, I'm just going to focus on kind of what he was talking about in thrift stores, dollar stores, things like that. Those are the kind of places to go to get those kind of supplies for good and cheap. So they might be a little off-brand, might taste a little bit differently than what you're used to, but if you're hungry, you're going to suck it up. Okay. Last thing we're going to talk about it, and the other thing that he suggested was, okay, in a zombie apocalypse, you always see people posting up, you know, these movies and these shows and stuff. They're always taking these little boards, like, not even fence boards, they're just little boards. It's like they're all rotten wood for some reason, I don't know. But they're hammering them up on the windows and stuff, and it's all scattered, and you're always wondering, these people have like 10,000 pounds of lumber, and for some reason they're always scattering it so that it's like, well, I mean, I guess you want to be able to see out, but it just gives the zombies something to grab and rip right off. I mean, I guess that's really the main point. We want something that the zombies can rip off. But he was saying, you know, aside from wood, what else can you put up in your windows, you know, to make them effective, to make them protect you? And the absolute truth is, I guess it just depends on your type of window frame. Because during a hurricane season, we had a Hurricane Ike, I believe it was that one that actually came through here and destroyed a lot. We did use wood to board up our windows, but it was plywood. We were using I want to say 5/8 inch plywood, 5/8 inch plywood, and it was, you know, very thick, very sturdy stuff. You can walk on this, and stuff's great whenever it's suspended. It's awesome stuff. But we had these little clips that you screwed into the wood on either side, and you just cut the board to what you needed, and then it literally slid into your window slot from the outside. And those little clips, they had little teeth on them that you had to really push because they would stick. They would basically. If it's kind of hard to explain, I guess, but if your window is sitting right here, these teeth are basically angled like this. So when you push them in, they lock in place and they don't want to come out. And you literally have to pop them out individually. It's crazy. It was annoying getting them out. But zombies would not be able to really figure that one out. But they could possibly get their fingers in there, cause it open. So I would say that you could do something like that. I truly believe that would be very effective. Either that, or taking plywood, sticking it over your windows, over your doors, things like that, and literally screwing that sucker in every 5 inches. I don't care. Do what you need to do to make sure that plywood does not come out. I want it to be to the point where if I'm on the inside, I can't even push it out. Because in my mind, that's perfect. Because if I can't push it out, that means there's nothing inside that's going to want to make me get out just that quickly. Anyway, the other thing that I would suggest, you see it all the time, bars on windows. I would stock up on them. Doesn't mean you have to have them on your windows. I know that a lot of people say, well, that's a fire hazard. You have them on your windows, fire happens, and it's happened before. People have died because they had those on their windows, and they couldn't get out. From what I understand, they have made a safety feature one where basically from the inside you can pop it off, or I don't know, something. I've heard some about that, but maybe that was just a rumor I heard. But keep them, have them, be ready. Should this happen, you want to be able to bar up your windows. And if need be, if you're in a one-story like I am myself, get yourself ready to blow a hole through your attic if you haven't already, so that you can get out through the roof should there be a fire, should there be something that you cannot escape by going out the windows of the door. So that's kind of my suggestion. You know, I don't know how much those cost. I actually probably should look that up myself, but that's something that I would suggest. Get the bars ready, have plywood ready, stuff like that. Be ready. These kinds of things, you really, I mean, just think about it. In any form of apocalypse, let's just say the zombie apocalypse happens, do you really want to be trying to fight your way through Walmart or Sam's or Lowe's or any of that stuff to try and get the stuff we're talking about? That's the difference between people who prepare and people who don't. People who prepare, if nothing happens if nothing happens in their entire lifetime, they've just got extra food, they've got extra guns, they've got extra supplies. That's what happens. And the people who say they're crazy, they get to continue saying they're crazy. If it does happen, the people who are prepared live. The people who aren't, most of them die. That's the difference. You prepare, you have a better chance of living should it ever happen. Any kind of apocalypse. You don't prepare, your chances drop a lot.
That's why we say prepare. It's not about the, oh, let's just prepare for the zombie apocalypse. That's not what it's all about. It's about preparing for any form of disaster, something where you are going to need it. During hurricanes and things like that, grocery stores, our grocery stores, were emptied. People were going and buying everything. They're panicking. They're freaking out. That was a hurricane. They knew that in a week or two everything was going to be normal again, but they panicked. People panicked. Can you imagine what it'd be like on an apocalyptic scale? Can you imagine what would be going through people's minds if the nearest city got bombed? You really think about these kinds of things? And if a hurricane, it can cause people to do that. The very thought of a hurricane. We say, oh hey, there's a hurricane in the Gulf, and it's 6 days out, and it might come to us. Stores are emptied. Can you imagine what it'd be like? Hey guys, so just on the other side of the country, zombies are starting to take over, and it's spreading. It's different parts of the world, and it's in the country, and they say it'll be here in about, oh, I don't know, a week, maybe 2. What do you think is going to happen? Not only are people going to be panicking and doing that, they're going to be killing each other. Do you really want to be going down that, or would you rather be able to say, well, I kind of stocked up and I'm sitting at home? Just saying, guys. That's my 2 cents. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, anything you'd like to see on my channels or anything like that, please let me know. And once again, guys, I am so sorry that it's taken so long to get into the video. Things have just been really hectic. But anyway, let me know, and I'd love to help you guys out. I'd love to get anything up. If you have questions, like I said, I'd love to answer them. So just let me know, and y'all have a good one. All right, guys. Bye.